assistant is like an ICANN tutorial center. So Lekan used to be an ex-advanced taxation tutor. And one other fun fact, Lekan Rasaq used to be my colleague. Like we worked together at TaxBridge when we used to work over there. So with a round of applause, I would like to see your clapping reactions. Let's welcome Lekan Rasaq as he takes us on the second part of this session. And the topic is thriving in a tax career. He's going to take us on what it takes, what it entails for beginners, for new people, new persons, fresh undergraduates, and all. Everything it entails for us to thrive in the tax career. So please let's welcome him on board. Thank you. Lekan, you have the floor, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chizoba. Thank you, Chizoba. Thank you for having me on this call. I'm trying to bring up my slides. Share my screen. I'm trying to bring up my slide. Okay. I don't know if can we see my slide?
Yes, I can see.
Okay.
Someone
can you see my screen now?
If they can see.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so thank you, Chizoba, once again. Thank you, Idris, for the previous amazing session. Yeah. So I'll be taking us through building a rewarding tax career in Nigeria, precisely in Nigeria. And basically we'll be talking about the skills, the certifications, and the growth tips that entails to have a successful career as a tax person in Nigeria. Yeah. So the session outline says we'll be looking at the introduction.
Sorry, Lekan. Sorry.
Yeah.
What we can see Deloitte page. Like.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry. I'm trying to bring it up. Okay. Sorry. Let me stop presenting then. Stop presenting. Okay. Okay, entire screen, yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. So I'll move back a little. So are we on the session outline slide? I just need a confirmation.
No, I can still see your home page. That's the part that has building a rewarding tax career in Nigeria.
Sorry.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. I think I'll just use it like that.
Okay, sorry, please 1 minute. Can you put your slide on presentation mode? That's down.
Yeah.
Down your screen.
This is what I've done. Yes. This is it already.
No, it's supposed to appear larger than this. Down your screen towards the right part. Down, the right.
So I'm trying to share my entire screen so that anywhere I move my cursor to, it goes. You get?
Okay.
That is what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
So I'll still stop sharing, or I share something else, present something else. So I'm trying to share my entire screen.
Yeah, that's okay. Just put it on presentation mode. Let's see. I think it works that way. Down. So okay. The fourth icon.
So I'm sharing my entire screen now. So my presentation, then presentation mode. Are we good now?
Yes, I think this is nice.
Okay, thank you. So sorry for the delay, actually. Sorry. So I'll be taking us through building a rewarding tax career in Nigeria and the skills, the certifications, and the growth tips needed as a tax person in Nigeria, and how to grow in the system. So looking at the session outline, we'll be talking about 7 things, and we have our introduction, we have our skills needed. I'll be very fast on this session. We already have Idris take up like 1 hour, more than 1 hour of our time. So my session is a very simple one. So I'll be very fast. So I'll look at my introduction, I'll look at my skills needed, I'll look at my certification needed as a tax person, I'll look at the growth timeline, I'll look at the career paths, I'll look at the career specializations, and I'll have my conclusion as the last slide. So moving forward, we have my introduction. So as a tax person in Nigeria, whether you're just starting or whether you're looking to advance as a tax professional in Nigeria, we need to look at the skills needed. So your skills needed in terms of the technical skills and the soft skills needed, we'll still go to that later. We also have the certifications needed. What are those certifications you need for you to be important in the sector as a tax professional, whether you're into consulting, whether you're into the industry as a tax person, or whether you own your own tax firm as a person. So we need to look at the certifications, and we also need to look at the growth track. How well can you move from being a starter or a beginner to a pro level? That is what we'll talk about when we get to our growth tracks. Then we'll go to our career paths. That is what you can do as a tax person. Do you want to focus on being a tax consultant? Do you want to focus on being a tax professional in the industry? So when I say industry, so I mean our FMCG, our other sectors that has to do nothing about the tax consulting, the big fours, the middle firms, and the ANCO as we have. So basically, that's what our career path talks about. Then we have our evaluation later on. Yeah, on to the next slide. So we have skills needed. So I'll be looking at our skills needed, which technical skills is one of it, and we have our soft skills. So I'll take the technical skills first. So on our technical skills, it talks about how well are you with the tax laws and regulations. So as a tax person, so we need to establish the fact that tax is one of the most changing, it has the most changing nomenclature. So what it is now might not be what it will be in the next 1 year or 2 years to come. So it keeps changing. We have different tax laws, and we have our Finance Act also coming into place, also changing every year. So how well are you with the knowledge of Nigerian tax laws? So when we talk about tax laws, we talk about CIT, that's Idris also mentioned earlier, that's a CITA, as our Company Income Tax Act. We also have our Personal Income Tax Act. We have our income tax legislation on transfer pricing 2018. We have withholding tax gazette that was just passed into law few months ago, and our VAT Act, and so on and so forth. So as a tax person, if you want to grow and if you want to be successful, as they say, you have to be conversant with your tax laws and regulations in Nigeria, for a start in Nigeria. So as you advance in the field, you can now go into studying of international tax laws, as it may be. So other part of technical skills that we need to know is our understanding of tax planning and compliance. So tax planning and compliance are crucial aspects of financial management and individuals and business, for individuals and business actually. So it entails how you meet all your tax laws and regulations and the compliance per se. So how well do you want to plan to meet up your relevant tax compliance for each year? When I'm talking about tax compliance now, so I'm not talking about corporate only, I'm talking about both at personal level. So when I say personal level, I mean your personal income tax, your payee filings, your annual returns filings. Then when it comes to the corporate taxes, you have your company income taxes filing, your transfer pricing filing, and so on and so forth. So that's the understanding of your tax planning and compliance. So the key aspects when it comes to tax planning and compliance is you have to understand the tax laws and regulations I've mentioned earlier before, and you also have to understand or identify ways of or opportunities of tax savings for your company or your client. So when I say your client, that means you're into consulting. So you have to look for measures or opportunities of saving them or reducing their tax liability or exposures, as the case may be. So also under this tax planning and compliance, we also have to another key aspect is filing tax returns on time. That is very, very key as a tax person. So another part of your technical skills is the analytical and problem solving. So as a tax person, in some cases, you have to do some fast thinking and mathematical reasoning. So it might just come up to you on a Monday morning, your CFO just calls you to his office, his filing period, and they want to reduce the tax exposure, and you are the tax expert in the system. So he might just throw questions to you, or she might just throw questions to you on ways to reduce the tax exposure of the company. So it takes you as a person or as a tax practitioner to give an instant answer on how this will affect your tax computation on the long run. I mean, you don't have your system, you don't have to calculate anything, you don't have a calculator. All you just have to do is, how does this affect my tax computation? Let's take, for instance, is bringing up a question on how to reduce the gross turnover of the company, and it has to do with finance income. So on the long run, you know that this is going to affect my income tax, because I mean, it's going to affect my gross turnover, which is a basis for computation of my minimum tax. It's also going to affect my income tax computation on the long run, because it's going to affect my profits before tax, which is a basis for your indirect method of computing income tax, as explained by Idris earlier. So all these things we need to, it has to be in place as a tax person who wants to thrive in the sector. So looking at our soft skills needed, so soft skills needed in terms of communication and interpersonal skills. So communication in terms of writing FIRS, writing LIRS, writing the PENCOM, and other statutory bodies like that. So there are templates you need to follow when writing all these people, and even on your oral communication with the tax authorities or the tax bodies, you have to be careful, because any information you give out might bring a problem to your company on the long run. So you have your communication skills has to be A, as I say. So also you have your time management. So your time management would come to place when it comes to your task planning, because we all have these deadlines, and all our compliances have deadlines. So for your payee, you have deadlines. For your personal income taxes, you have deadlines. For your corporate taxes, you have deadlines. Corporate taxes in terms of your CIT, your transfer pricing, they have deadlines. So you have to know ways to manage your time to suit the financial reporting system of wherever you find yourself, probably a company or your client. That's when you're into consulting. So you have to manage your time very well and to make sure that your client or the company is not going to face a penalty or and the interest along the line. So also we need to establish that as a tax professional, you have to learn how to adapt to the system, and also you have to go into continuous learning. I mean, what everyone is here on the call for is also for continuous learning. As a tax professional, you have to engage often. You have to meet people and exchange ideas. That is what the tax profession asks from us, or we have to adapt. So how do we adapt? We have to get conversant with the tax laws, the gazettes, the new gazettes, whenever it is being released, any new tax laws or changes in the tax laws, the Finance Act. We have to continue learning and keeping effect of this in whatever we do on a day-to-day basis. So moving on, I'll look at necessary certifications needed when it comes to being a professional tax practitioner. So I mean, most of us on this call are members of the ICANN body. Some of us are ACCA, some of us are CITA. So he brings a direction to whatever you want. I might decide that as a tax professional, I want to go the direction of CITN directly. I don't want to have anything to do with ICANN or ACCA for now. So I go into CITN. So I bag my associate of Chartered Institute of Nigeria. And Mr. B might say, I want to go for ICANN. I want to try ICANN and bag my ACA as a person. As a matter of fact, this is an ACA under the body of ICANN. And I mean, it's not going to stop. We all, Chizoba is ACA. She won't stop. I am very sure that she's also on the verge of getting a CITN, as the case may be. So as a tax professional, you can't just stop with a certification. You have ACA, yes, there's room to be FCA. You just have to keep on going just to be relevant in that system. I mean, some people might say, or Mr. C might say, okay, I want to go the route of ACCA, and I deeply want to do that. So you go your ACCA. After bagging your ACCA, you still can't stop. There's room for FCCA, and you can still even at the side add your CITN to it, your ACTI or FCTI. I mean, this Rumode Taiwo Edele is a role model to every one of us in the tax sector, and we always want to be like him. He has a certification in ACCA, and I'm very sure he has a certification in CITN also. He's very relevant in the sector, and these are the basic things that keeps him relevant in the sector. His certifications, you have to keep on moving. So the importance of certification is mainly to demonstrate expertise. That is, you having an associate membership with ICANN tells that you are not just new to income tax computation. You are not just new to the VAT tax presentation when it comes to your company income taxes. You're not just new to transfer pricing, as the case may be, and the documentations needed for transfer pricing. You are not just new to it. So certification brings to the employer, or brings to a company or your client, as the case may be, that, oh, this person is an expert in the field, and I can fully trust the person. Also, what the certification does is it brings a commitment to the field. So I am not just an ACA member or an ACA certified person, but because I am committed to ICANN, and I won't see anybody rubbishing ICANN anyway, and I won't beat my chest and defend ICANN, because I earned it. I earned that certification, and it's a commitment to the body and the field, as the case may be. Moving on, we have the growth timeline as a tax professional. As a tax professional, we have the entry level, we have the middle level, we have the senior level. So I'll be taking this individually. So the entry level basically is below the 3 years. So if your experience is between 0 to 3 years, we say, according to the ACM system in the industry, we say you are entry level when you have a 0 to 3 years experience. So basically what you are doing at this level is, because you're just new to the system, you're still learning, you're new. So whatever you've learned in school, at your undergraduate level, at your professional certification level, that's your ICANN or ACCA or CITN, you are going to be practicalizing it in real life. So you're seeing deferred tax in real life, you're seeing transfer pricing in real life, you're seeing impairment stages and ECS schedule in real life, you're seeing expenses or GL spools in real life. So this is basic understanding we should have, that at entry level. So what you're doing is you're getting familiar to the system, and you have to develop your technical skills through training and mentorship. So in this field, there is room for mentorship. There's room for mentorship and there's room for training. As a matter of fact, Taiwo Idili is my mentor in the field. And I also have another mentor in HEY. She's a partner and she's my mentor. And that's it. So training also, when you are just starting your career as a tax person, you have to go into training. So when I say trainings, training in terms of your Excel, you can't escape that. You have to be very, very good with your Excel. You have to be very, very good with your numbers in terms of reading your AFX. So when you see your AFX, you know where to go, you know where to look at, that will give you the numbers you're looking for, or the important numbers that will speak to your tax computation as a tax professional. So in this level of growth timeline also, you are also gaining foundation and the knowledge of laws and regulations. And in this process, you can ask questions, you can seek your mentorship, you can seek your mentor for questions and clarifications and all of those things. So I move on to the mid-level. So the mid-level is from 4 years to 7 years. And most times, in 7 years, yeah, but most times you have 4 to 6 sometimes. Yeah, that's where you've actually gained your ground and nothing can shake you. You're convinced that this is typically what I'm doing. So yeah, you're taking more complex tax projects and responsibility. So in this case, you are visiting FIRS office, you're leading tax audits, you're communicating, you're on the face of FIRS and LIRS always. You're that person speaking to the tax officials when they arrive or when you have letters, you communicate and all of those things.
And Lekan, we can hear you.
Hello everyone. I think his network tripped up, but let's exercise a bit patience. Please let's exercise patience. He's trying so hard to come back to the call. Okay, so sorry guys. While we wait for Lekan to come back to the session, um, to reiterate one of the points that he mentioned
Yeah, I'm
under
back.
soft skills.
About my network.
All right,
Sorry,
all right. Welcome back.
sorry, everyone. So I don't know the point at which I stopped or you guys stopped hearing me. Can you hear me? Zoba, please
Yes,
can you hear
yes,
me?
Lekan.
So I need to
Yes,
know the point
Lekan.
at which you guys stopped hearing me.
Okay. Please, can someone remind us where he stopped?
Good evening,
I guess
everyone.
okay.
Yes,
Stopped at
good
the middle
evening.
level from
Okay. Thank you. So I'll just pick it up from the middle level. Thank you. I'm sorry for the break. So I'm going back to my presentation, share screen. Yes. So okay. So my middle level basically is between 4 to 7 years, just to reiterate. And here what you're doing is you're handling more tax job, and you're developing yourself for the leadership role and the management skills. So basically what you're doing here, you've already gained your ground. You are the one interfacing with LIRS and FIRS, as the case may be. More often you are the one interfacing, and you are the one in charge of any communication in written or calls or oral communications with FIRS or the tax authorities, as the case may be. So that's for middle level. So for senior level, we say it is 8 years and above. So basically what you are doing here is you're typically reviewing what the lower line and the middle level has done on the job. So at this point, you can't afford to take risk. You have to make sure you take thorough look of whatever is being submitted to the tax authorities, every filing done, every returns. You have to make sure you are on top of your game at this level. So that's basically what we have for growth timeline. So I'll move to the next slide. So for as a career path, for tax professionals, we have tax professionals who says, oh, I want to be a tax accountant. I want to be a tax consultant. I want to be a tax lawyer. I want to be a tax auditor. So basically, a tax consultant works in an audit or tax firm, as the case may be. So basically, what you're doing is you're managing the taxes on behalf of your clients, and that's basically what Idris is doing in his Transact. So he has clients under his jurisdiction, is managing their taxes. So in terms of CIT or corporate taxes, he's managing it. He's managing their income, personal income taxes in terms of payee and annual returns filing and all of those things. So that is basically what a tax consultant is doing. And also, in some cases, in some firm, you have these roles differentiated. So as a tax consultant, you can be a personal income tax expert. And we will still go to that in my next slide. You can be a corporate tax expert. And even some tax, some firms, they still go ahead to divide that particular corporate tax unit. So you have under your corporate taxes, you have your company income tax tax, you have your transfer price index. In some cases, you have it as a general debt where everybody does everything as corporate income taxes. So that is basically what we are doing as a tax consultant. So as tax accountant, basically what you're doing is your most cases, tax accountants are always in the industries. Yeah, so when I say industry, you're not a consultant in this case. you are working directly for a company and you are getting paid for it. So basically what you do here is you prepare and file tax returns on behalf of the company. You conduct your tax plannings and advisory services for your company. You ensure tax compliances when it comes to the corporate taxes in terms of company income taxes, transfer pricing filings or compliances, your annual returns filing when it comes to your employees of the company, also your payee payments as at when due, to eradicate any form of penalty and interest for the company. So this is basically what a tax accountant does. And basically, a tax accountant also represents the company when it comes to tax audits and some cases investigation. So as the representative of the company, you have to defend your company with documents in front of FIRS and LIRS as the case may be. And also as a tax accountant, you have to stay up to date and you have to always update your company and its employees about any changes in tax laws and regulations. So basically that is what a tax accountant does. So as a tax lawyer, so we have some people that say, oh, I want to be a tax lawyer. So basically over years, I've come to know that people who come to thrive more in this tax specialization are lawyers. So when you look at 40% of those people at the top, they are basically not accountants, they are lawyers. So as a lawyer, you get to understand from foundation level to the top everything about tax laws. So as a tax lawyer, basically what you're doing is you provide tax controversy services to the company. So in this case, you can be a consultant and you can also be a tax manager in the industry, as the case may be. So a company might employ you to say, oh, I want you to be my tax lawyer. So in cases where we have implications on business transactions, when we have clients in tax audit and disputes, we want you to be the one taking charge of this discussion. So that is basically what a tax lawyer does. Also, some people might say, I want to be a tax auditor. So a tax auditor is a very broad one, actually. So you might want to be a tax auditor as a consultant. So basically what you're doing as a consultant here is, on behalf of your clients, whenever FIRS or LIRS serve them letter to conduct a tax audit. So basically what you're doing is you are going forward before LIRS pre-audit meeting. You are going to your client office or you do it in your office on your desk. You prepare a pre-audit tax exposure for your client. So basically you've seen their documents, you're the one managing their tax. So basically what you want to do is, how much is my client going to pay in all goodwill? Because you're the one managing your client. At worst case scenario, you have to pay this for so period tax audit. This is what you are supposed to pay. So this report is what you are presenting or you are using to back up your claims when you are facing LIRS on the pre-audit meeting or after the pre-audit meeting. So that is basically as a tax consultant in tax audit. So in tax audit also, you can say you want to work for LIRS, you want to work for FIRS, as the case may be. So basically, you're the one, in this case, you're the one reviewing the client books in favor of the government. So that is basically our classifications when it comes to the career path. So it is left to individuals to choose the career path they want to choose as a tax professional. But as for me, I prefer the tax manager in the industry. in the industry. So I mentioned earlier that we can also say that you own a tax firm. You own a tax firm, you're a partner in a tax firm. This is also a classification. And you can be doing all of these things as a partner or a principal in a tax firm. You can be the tax lawyer, you can be the tax auditors, you can be the tax consultant,